All right, welcome to another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. As per usual, I'm joined by my older brother, John Driscoll.
Hey, H, thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely, and also my younger brother, Matt Driscoll.
Hey, H, always a pleasure. Sorry we started a little late. I'll take some of the blame for that, having some technological difficulties. Just want to say welcome, John. Also streaming from his childhood bedroom. Welcome back to New Jersey.
That's right. Yeah, first time.
Little over a month since I've been here. So
that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, first time doing the pod with all three of us under the same roof in a little bit. So that's a very interesting dynamic, and usually doesn't result in technical issues too well. So hopefully that doesn't remain the case for this episode, because today's a big episode. We have another guest on the show. We have NBA YouTuber, NBA historian, or whatever other title you want to add on to him, Mike Korzemba.
How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me on. It is a pleasure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a relatively long time coming. We've been going on a lot of the show, so we're definitely happy we were finally able to have you on. We definitely got a lot to uncover. Mike's obviously a big creator, so we definitely love with a lot of knowledge. We definitely love having those on the show, so we're very excited to discuss that. But before we get into anything else, Mike, I'm not sure if you knew this, but at the beginning of every episode, we always disclose which episode number it was, and then we give an NBA player who used to wear that number. As we go later and later to the episodes, the numbers get bigger, which means the numbers also get harder. This is episode 67. You would have to do some pretty deep digging in order to find the number 67. Matt and I discussed it before the show, but John or Mike, do you guys have any number 67s in mind? Because
I will say that is the worst part of my NBA knowledge or sports knowledge in general is jersey numbers, to the point where it is embarrassing.
Yeah.
I think I didn't know Allen Iverson's 2 days ago just to expose myself.
That's all good, because there are only there's only two players to ever wear the number 67. One of them was Mo Becker in 1947 for the Detroit Falcons. The other one is a player that all of us know, actually. It's actually Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson, who is obviously so he's been.
I'm a Bulls fan.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're a Bulls fan. Yeah. He wasn't 67 in the Bulls, though, right? I think he was something else. He gets I don't know what he was, but I'm pretty sure he was something a little bit less. But
I wouldn't know. Derrick Rose is number one.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. I wasn't. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. That's my apologies for not making you aware that I was going to test your knowledge right off the bat. But we'll maybe we'll do something else a little more concrete on another day.
I would gladly take that fail again. That's my worst. It's my worst aspect. We all have flaws.
I can't believe you didn't pull Mo Becker. That's ridiculous. He's a well-known player.
Mo, big Mo, dude. Mm-hmm. Slow Mo.
Absolutely. But however, so for those of you who are loyal watchers of the show, you know that we don't talk a ton of college basketball on the show. It's mostly chess. We mostly do NBA. We did some college basketball around March Madness last year, which is coming up, so we'll definitely be adding some more. We do some baseball as well, but we mostly try to stick to the NBA. However, since our favorite team, St. John's, and also Mike, who has a ton of knowledge about St. John's as well, since they're doing so well, we figured that we dedicated a segment to them. I checked earlier. I believe they're 7th in the nation now. They've been playing some awesome basketball. Every time I turn them on to watch, it feels like they're in a close game, and they always find a way to pull it out. So just something that I've loved seeing so far. But Mike, just obviously as someone who watches basketball as much as you do, what are your takeaways on St. John's, the way they've been playing this year?
So St. John's is everyone's team here, or how are you? How's that? Every single. Oh wow, okay, great.
Our father went to St. John's and graduated from there in 1989. So he's a big time fan. Passed it down to all of us.
Okay, so he got to experience the glory years for a little, the post Mullen glory years. But so it's been incredible. It's hard to imagine. It'd be like if I would. Okay, I don't want to get inappropriate. It would be like, let's say, you've been, you're in a fraternity, you're getting hazed for 10 years, and then suddenly you make it. You're in the fraternity. The sun is out. St. John's is 7th in the nation. We have been terrible since I've been a student. I mean, when I first got to St. John's, we were incredibly hyped because Steve Lavin was the coach, and Steve Lavin just like pulled in what was supposed to be the number 3 recruiting class in the nation, and it was basically just like a quick study in what it's like to be a St. John's fan, because I think 3 of those players were somehow academically ineligible. One transferred almost immediately. We've made the tournament 3 times since I was a student, I believe, other than this year, and we haven't won an NCAA tournament game since the year 2000. So it's been incredible. I mean, every single the group chat's on fire. Everyone that I know, it's the best energy ever. Did you go to a game in the Garden at all this year?
Yeah, we've been to a couple.
Yes, you guys have. Where'd you see?
We never, at least I think Matt had been. I had never been to the Garden before this year, and it's crazy because we grew up so close, but they're so expensive, the games. But with St. John's, at least towards the beginning, I think from January through February, I went to 4 games. So we started off, they played Nova the first time they played Nova, which was a great game. And then they played, I think me and Matt went to a game. They played Xavier when they won in overtime. What was the third game? Or Marquette. We went to that game.
Yeah.
That was kind of when they were
heavy
going back
hitters.
and forth. Yeah, and then the most recent one we went to was Creighton on that Sunday afternoon.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so when you guys were there, I'm curious because I just went to UConn. So how was the Garden? Like, how full was it?
I think I want to say for the first game we went to, it was a Saturday night. It was pretty packed. We were in a section with some Nova guys, and I think that's just because of how close Nova is to the Garden, and I'm sure some of those guys.
I know. How do you feel about Nova guys?
I'm not a huge fan. But
they're Philly fans. They embody them completely.
It's like it's like you take Philadelphia, but you add like a little pompous twirl to them in a sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the thing to admire about Philly fans is that they're they embody it and they love that they're kind of scummy and they like it. They like that though. And then Nova fans just kind of take away that admirable piece of them. But I would say I think the best environment we went to, Matt, you might have to help me out here. I think, it was tough because we went to a couple weekday games, but the Xavier game in overtime was pretty fun. But I think, it'd be tough to pick. I would probably say the Creighton game was the most packed and the most loud and the most intense.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
But yeah, Matt, you can, and Chris too, because you went to 2 of them with us too. You went to the weekend games, which were pretty good. But
yeah, I went to, I believe it was 2014 or 2013. I went to St. John's Nova at the Garden, and I was pretty young, and that was the St. John's made the tournament in 2011, I believe, but it was a couple years removed from that, so. They weren't pretty good that year, and Nova was pretty solid, and they got smoked. And there was Garden was pretty empty. And then compared to this year, I haven't been since then. I went to a Ranger game, but then earlier in the season. But then the Nova game was pretty packed. Then throughout the year, the Garden has just been more and more packed. And I totally agree with John. I think the Creighton environment was the most electric. It was sold out, and I think they were ranked 11 or 10 at the time, and Creighton was 25, so it was big win for St. John's. So yeah, I think the Creighton game was the best experience.
Yeah, I would definitely say, from what I've heard, all the games were pretty packed and loud. Personally, I would say I definitely wish that the game that the game was more at Marquette was as crowded inside as it was outside. Matt and I hit a very heavy traffic on the way there. We actually didn't make it until towards the end of the first half, so that was quite unfortunate. But overall, the vibes have been immaculate at the Garden. This year was my first year attending MSG for the games. But it's obviously, the vibes have been great. Obviously, and how can't they be? This has been some awesome stuff we've been seeing. And it's just wild how.
So here's how it used to be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it used to be, okay, we used to have this old man. It was all old men. Like the current, young fan base. It's great to see it. We're very happy. You love when the students are engaged because that means that they're actually interested in actually coming and not just going to the bar that night. It's perfect to see that. But we had so many. We have so many old men fans. It's incredible. It's great to watch. But before this season, or maybe even with Pitino, year one, we always had this feel, and it was crazy because I'd be sitting there, I'd be with them, and I'd be like, "Are you guys actually out of your minds with this energy?" But there'd be 3 minutes left, and everyone would be like, "Can't wait to see how they blow it." Like up 4, we'd be up at 4, and every single person talking, how are they going to blow this one? I would be like, "Is this real life?" Like, so that was our collective energy, and it was real. It actually happened on the court. We would always blow it, but UConn sold out crowd. I think they maybe got to cheer for 5 minutes, and we were, the rest of the time, the entire 95% of the game was St. John's just stomping them, and it was legitimately a dream come true. It was what me and my friends have been talking about for years. Is one day we will tap into the Garden. One day, New York City, will actually become a thing again. And, maybe it's the NIL money combined with Pitino. But Rick Pitino, our basketball savior, I cannot believe how incredible he's turned it around. I mean, it was just the best. I mean, you guys chose the best year to start going to the Garden. Because, again, before, it wasn't even it was not bad energy. It was pure depression energy. It was like that, a Charlie Brown type energy, I would say. No matter what happens, this is going to end in failure. But now we believe.
Absolutely. I'm really happy. What's that, John?
The Godfather. Rick
the Godfather. Yeah.
I'm happy you brought that up because he was
in the first time. Come here, Rick.
Absolutely. That was gonna be the next person I want to talk about because Pitino has been a savior for everyone. I know I know that Johnson's I'm sure you saw the video, Mike, of Pitino inside the locker room just absolutely firing the team up, screaming at them, and he's the type of coach which I know a lot of people that's and I don't mean to be an old man yells at a cloud thing, but I know it's kind of frowned upon in a way for a coach to be yelling at their players, especially in college, saying oh, that's way too much. You could just tell the players just respect him so much and everything there. Just from an emotional standpoint, but then from an actual basketball standpoint, if this was an NBA team, I feel like I wouldn't really appreciate him as much, mainly just because they go he goes against the analytics, which I'm usually very for, but however, with what he does and how bought in his players are, it works. Just don't allow the teams to score and just get the easy buckets. Don't worry about taking threes. Just get the buckets when you can, and just play the best defense you can. And he just has the players bought in so much, and it's one of the most fascinating things I've seen in sports in a long time.
Yeah, Chris, to extend on that, Pitino was actually one of the first guys to accept the 3-point shot and embrace it at the college level. So it's pretty interesting that a lot of his teams have been horrible 3-point shooting teams throughout the year. There's been, I think I saw it stat on Twitter. I don't know St. John's 3-point percentage now, but it was going into the Creighton game. There were 2 teams to ever make the Final Four shooting 33% or less from 3, or 32% or less from 3, and they both were Rick Pitino Louisville teams. So it's kind of cool that he builds these teams just even in the video that you mentioned, Chris, he's we don't care about your missed shots, just defend, crash the offensive glass, play harder than the team we're playing against, and it clearly is working.
Yeah, I mean, I love Pitino. I just watching him compared to I'll just call out the Mike Andersons and Chris Mullen. Mike Anderson, I don't know if he was just done with coaching at that point, and because like we needed a guy to come in and rebuild the program completely. So I actually have a funny story. I was doing a job in Atlanta, and as I was going at Overtime Elite, if you guys know what that is, the high school basketball program thing in Atlanta, I was doing like a commentary job there, and I was walking by the gym next door, and they were like, "Hey man, you want to sign up?" I was like, "I don't live here," but like I talked to the guy. I was like just like walking around Atlanta, like checking it out. And so I started talking to him. He was Mike Anderson's nephew. And I was like, and it was like when he was coaching there, I was like, this is wild. Okay. And I was like, what do you think about Mike, Mr. Anderson? What do you think about him? And he said, we keep trying to get him to let our nephew, our cousin coach the team. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I think he's tapped out. I'm like, what do you mean? So that was unfortunate. Mullen was obviously tapped out. Mullen couldn't coach, like, it's just not a great situation. But Rick Pitino, when you see like you said, the respect his players have, it takes you can't just come in here and start screaming at guys unless you know what you're talking about, unless you're a player's coach to a good degree too, because they have to know that you have their back. I think that was none the more demonstrated than when Davon Smith, when he pulled his shenanigans early in the season. I don't know if you guys caught the full report on that, but during the Baylor game, he refused to go back in on the bench, and then it was like low key reported that when they got back to JFK, that he took his own Uber instead of going on the team bus, and so then Pitino sat him on the bench for a few games, but in coaches past, even in the Steve Lavin era, whenever there would be any kind of discipline, the dude would just transfer, literally mid-season. Okay, and so Davon Smith just took that, is fine, is locked in. He took the discipline. I think that says everything about Rick Pitino, that he was able to, in this day and age, take a fifth-year guy like Davon Smith, who, is an incredible player, has transferred to a lot of teams, but, get him to still be bought in. Our team is relentless on defense and relentless on the offensive boards. And also, what's great is that we can't shoot it all, definitely. We are shooting. I looked at a quick glance at the stats before this, and we're shooting 30% as a team from three. So it's not good. We only have one guy that's shooting above 35%. That is Davon Smith, who's shooting 38. Davon's been hitting some good shots, I would say. I mean, out of ISO situations too, he's been hitting some step backs. I'm like, all right, my man. Great to see that. But what I love about Rick is that every single, despite our misses, right? He's always I keep telling the guys, just let him fly. You're never going to get subbed out for missing a three. You're never going to get subbed out for taking an open shot. And he keeps re-emphasizing that. He even was making excuses for the guys. He was saying the Garden's 3-point shooting lines were messing them up. They make them Welcher makes them in practice. Scott makes them in practice. He has his team's back, and so he is the disciplinarian that can make sure that they're locked in. But that only also comes when someone really knows that you have your back as well. And when he's a Hall of Famer, who coached multiple national championships, coached the Knicks, coached the Celtics. Yeah, it just feels like a true blessing to be a St. John's fan suddenly, and it feels very strange.
For sure.
It's I think, what do you guys think about this? I think that with the NIL money, right, I think it's been coming in phases. So we have the first phase. We might be on phase 2 at this point, where it's at first it was just very local, okay. But now we're watching the college football guys, and we're they're getting how much, they're getting what, 10 million, 20, what are these crazy quarterback contracts that are coming out, right? So I think that now it's going to be okay, the big colleges, yes, they're moneymakers, but then at one point it will flip more to now big markets, such as NBA markets, such as New York City. It's this is the biggest advertising potential. And St. John's in the Garden, and then you're able to, just post St. John's posters all over Times Square and everything. I think that when we get to another stage of NIL money, which it'll be like way just more blatant and open and sponsorships from other companies like that are just like Honda, like, you know, it's just like the official car of St. John's, right? But it's like I think that will come because like it's just like we've seen like once the money is starting to come in, like who's going to really say no? It's only been more and more. I think, and also that's the way that college basketball kind of survives in this era because as soon as the NBA and it allowed things like overtime elite, as soon as I don't think they could do anything about that, but as soon as the NBA made their own G League, okay, so you could go to the G League as opposed to getting paid overseas. Now it's suddenly a situation where you're 19 years old and you can choose to go get paid millions of dollars a year instead of going to college, and suddenly all the top college players were at a crossroads. But that's kind of flipped on its head, and now it's like, what happens when? Like, is it possible that we're going to get to a situation where you could kind of match because again, the football money we're hearing, that would match easily match what a mid first round pick is making the NBA. Like the top, picks get like 10, 12 mil. Yeah. But when you drop down to like 15 plus, you're getting like 3 mil. So I'm just saying, get those $3 million, $5 million deals for the number 1 and 2 recruits. Get our Ace Bailey and Dylan Harpers over here. If Rutgers can do it, why not us?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that Pitino said he's not even looking at any top high school recruits. Like he just said, he's going to look at to replace those like the Aaron Scott's leaving, the Devion Smith is leaving, Kadari Richmond's graduating grad school. He's done with his 5th year. He's not even looking at high school guys to replace them. He's just looking into the transfer portal and try to find older guys to replace them. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and St. John's has that advantage too with like Mike Rapoli. I mean, like he's like the reason why Kadari Richmond came here. Like Kadari Richmond, I think he's spoken about it recently. Like he enjoyed his time at Seton Hall. Like he was like not upset, but like I don't think he was like itching to leave. And I don't think this season's I don't think this season's as close to as good as it is without Kadari Richmond. And that's like I'm sure he loves St. John's now, but when he came here for that higher NIL money. So it's going to be interesting to see. And, you talked about stages of NIL. I think St. John's is kind of benefiting from this stage right now because as much as you want to think about it, there are, a handful of people who are willing to give these colleges all their money, all these billionaires. But like Rapoli is probably one of the bigger fish in that pool right now. Mm-hmm. A guy who's willing to spend that money. And by the way, like we all say it before, we're all big Mets fans with Steve Cohen. Like, if we were billionaires, we just spend it all on our sports teams that we love. So like it's a cool thing to see. And, St. John's is definitely benefiting from it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like living that like kind of like semi-owner life dream where it'd be like at the Garden. I don't know if they did this at the Garden for you guys if he was there, but they like legitimately were like, "Thank you, Mike Rapoli." They put it up on the screen and then they were like, "We've already made $500,000 that he's matching." And they were like, donate here. And so, like, because he's matching up to $1 million, and we've already made $500K of that. So he's already he's putting up just $1 million just because he loves the boys. So he wants to see us come back to greatness. Yeah, it's amazing. It's ridiculous. You know what? It's amazing. But it's only our first season, but I'm already feeling a little bad because. My family was, I would say John, so I'm like a black sheep of like they were all Seton Hall people. So, but I haven't talked, but like they're not the people that my uncle's passed away, RIP. He would be like was a big college basketball guy. So he would be someone I would be talking to about this. My aunt, she could care less. And my grandfather also passed away, RIP. He would be talking about this with me, so they would be like giving me crap. When I do talk to Seton Hall guys, they're legitimately like, what are we supposed to do already? Like we're just right here, and they're already like, we can't outpay you. Like, what are we gonna do? Because we stole Kadari's first team all Big East. he was their franchise guy, basically, if you're looking at it like that. And like you said, he didn't even really want to leave. He's just taking the more money. I went to the Seton Hall game this year at Prudential Center, and I had random grown men walking by me going like just chirping at me, going like, "You stole Kadari, how dare you? You feel good about yourself?" I'm like, I'm a little. We're up by 30.
Love that. So it feels like whenever we talk about like an overachieving team anywhere, we say like what's their ceiling, and I don't know if St. John's has a ceiling, honestly. Given where they are right now, they're 7th in the nation. They play really hard in defense. If they obviously like the unfortunate thing is that first of all, like let's just say this. Like, how about I ask the question? Let's talk about before we get into the March Madness. Who do you think is the biggest threat to St. John's in the Big East tournament?
I would say probably Marquette.
Mhm.
But the thing is, like with the Big East, I know it's more of a down year. Like every game so far, besides like the Seton Hall and the DePaul games, have been very close. Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like everyone was talking about how Villanova's having a super down year, and they ended up beating St. John's. Like I think they're way better than people give them credit for.
Yeah.
I know we beat the crap out of UConn last game, but like at UConn it was a very close game, and I don't want to play UConn again. Like I know they're the inferior team this year, but it's still they're back-to-back national champs. I think the biggest threat still is Marquette. I do think they're the second best team in the Big East, and then after that probably Creighton. But there's a lot of sleeper teams like a Villanova that do worry me a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not many other teams that I could.
But who's
I
the
could feel.
Creighton's best player? Their center.
11.
He's such trouble.
Yeah,
not exactly the best
That
analysis.
little guard too. That guy was flying around there. I remember just being so annoyed watching that game.
The guy, he looks like a grown man.
The guy in Creighton.
Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. He
looks he's 24.
They have a grown man, and they have an awesome big.
Ashworth is the guard, and then Kalkenbrenner is the center. I feel like Kalkenbrenner's been there for like 6 years too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Yeah, he's a guy that I'm not afraid of anyone with this team, but I would say that the size. It's like when we have RJ running at the 4, it's like we can like Zuby is an absolute beast, but we are susceptible at the center position for someone having a big game against us. I'd much rather play against good guards because I know our guys are just absolute dogs and are just out there, running and gunning. How about this though? A question. We are not a good 3-point shooting team. But I was immediately trying to put a positive spin on this for us. And I'm thinking great 3-point shooting teams that rely on making threes to win, right? They can get bounced in the tournament on an off night. Like we're always having an off night. So is it not in a way like we're made to make tournament runs because we don't really even rely on a consistent 3-point shooting to begin with. If we start making them, it's like a giant bonus.
Yeah. Sorry, not to cut you off, John. Every year, my friend picks Alabama to win the national championship because they're the best 3-point shooting team, and every year they get bounced like relatively early. And I was actually I was in John Fanta's Twitter space last night, and he was talking about how he loves St. John's in the tournament because defense travels. Like you go to the tournament, and you play in these massive football arenas, and your depth perception could be a little off, but not for defense. Like defense, no matter where you're playing, no matter what part of the country or what arena you're in, you're just guarding up. Like shooting could be different. Shooting could have an off night, but defense is about effort.
Yeah, that was like even early on in the season, that was like my big like cope and spin zone that like, defense is controllable and, shooting, like you said, Mike could have an off night. And then if you're relying on that, you're kind of screwed. But as the years gone on, the more I've realized that's not really much of a cope. That's more of just like reality. And I like what you mentioned about like, I feel more comfortable going up against teams that have like elite guards. Like I've watched Cam Jones play like other teams and like almost unstoppable, like really like a really, really great player. And I know he got into foul trouble, I think the first time St. John's played him. But you know, life gets a little more difficult when you're coming down the court and you have 6'6", 6'7" Kadarius Richmond and RJ Lewis, or they're picking you up at 89 feet. Life gets a little more difficult. So I do think they are, more likely to make a little bit of a run than a team that relies on and might just be a good shooting team throughout the year. But defense is a lot more controllable.
Couldn't agree more. So
also, we are so good on the offensive glass. Like we are such a good offensive rebounding team for what we do. Like, and RJ, just shout out to RJ. Like Zuby, definitely too. RJ, he's a big man, so it's like shout out to Zuby. But RJ as a wing, it's like his ability to get offensive rebounds is like special for his height and his true position, because it's just like that man is always getting second chances for us. So I think that's a really big deal for I think we're second in the nation in 2-point attempts taken, and fourth in made. So so we're actually, and like exactly, that's like a crazy stat, but a lot of that comes down to the offensive rebounding, because we can't make our shots, but also we're driving the basket a lot, we draw a lot of fouls. That could be what, the 3-point shooting is one thing. Hopefully we just make our free throws in the tournament, because those are the points that come back to really, bite you at the end of games. And like, we know that we've had some games where it's like 14 for 30 and you're like, how are we under 50%, man?
Well, because it's funny because you said like towards the beginning of the segment that you said like when you used to watch the games, people like it was like 4 game with 2 minutes left. You would say, "When are we going to blow this?" Like John literally said out loud, they were up like 10 with 2 minutes left. You said like, this is definitely like, not saying we're going to lose, but this is definitely going to be a game like within 30 seconds, just because of how many damn free throws we're going to miss. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. But as long as we stick to the aspect of just crashing the boards and just like getting stops getting as many stops as you can, I feel like that's going to be that has to be the main focus, rather than being concerned as to how many free throws you're going to miss or something.
I get like upset when they get into the double bonus. I'm like, no, like at least with 1-1, I can like bank on an offensive rebound and then maybe like a kick out or something like that. Like, I don't like, and then it's always like, and I know we all love Zuby, but like Zuby grabs a board and immediately gets fouled. It's like, fuck. It's like best case scenario. It's 1 of 2.
That man has been missing so many late game free throws. It's insane. I wonder what his percent, because I think
it's only like high 60s, I think, which really isn't awful.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's like, it must be his last 10-minute percentage is like 30%, and he's like a nice 75% shooter for there, because that man he's missed so many big free throws. And but that's another thing though, our perseverance has been just A+ this year. We don't let any of that get us down. We just push through. So all of that stuff, I think all that stuff lends to a good tournament run. I really hope. I mean, we haven't won a game in so long that it's like, but the ceiling keeps rising, because it's like, we just crushed UConn. We really did. Like, it was amazing to watch. It wasn't like just like, oh, we're the St. John's underdogs and we just come in and we pull out a 2-point win and like great win. It was like, no, we were better than them right from the tip. So it will be interesting to see. What I do also love is that we have so much to prove still. Like, there's not a single guy on this roster like that isn't going to be reminded that we haven't won a tournament game, that we haven't won a Big East championship in forever. So all these things, we have everything to prove. It's all the locker room material that you love to have.
Absolutely
confident. I mean, I'm like as confident as you could be from someone who's never seen a tournament win.
I think all of us are very cautiously optimistic. I think is the word that could. Like, I can't speak on your guys' behalf, but I'm very confident that's how you guys feel as well. It's just cautiously optimistic about how this team can be. But what is it? 2-3 regular season games left. Regular season left that we hop into tournament play. So very excited for that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to be the cool teacher this year that puts on the games during the tournament style, but because like in my defense, actually, my projector in my classroom for like when we would put it on is actually broken, so that's actually quite unfortunate. But last year I was able to be the cool teacher that turned on the games, but we couldn't. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that this year though. But
you'd be working from home those days.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think I am too.
Yeah. So, all right. So, John and Matt, I don't think I mentioned this. I don't think I mentioned this to you before when I was talking about it, but like, Mike is actually, and Mike is just like me. He's also a big Bill Simmons guy as well. So,
nice.
Of course, in honor of Bill Simmons, we're going to do a draft. Which like, I'm pretty sure the Matt does. I don't know if John and Mike have seen it, but there's that real, like, it's like the real Bill Simmons pod. Like it's like the podcast about the Bill Simmons podcasts. So like that's just, it's like my favorite memes to see is like he just makes fun of Simmons and what was that?
I say he's made it that much. I mean, that's like a double making it. So it's a podcast on your podcast.
Yeah, but like he just makes memes about Simmons and about like Ryan Marcello and like this, like just their just like the nonsense they say to each other. So just very, very funny things there. But
that's when I'll know we'll make it, when somebody has a Twitter account that's r/All-American Hooper, and it's just a parody account for us.
It's making
a Reddit page, that's going to have significantly more viewership than we currently do now. So hopefully hopefully that'll be the case. But in addition to,
baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In addition to this being like just doing a draft as Bill Simmons, like I feel like the idea that I put together was also like it's also kind of a Bill Simmons thing, because I'm doing it. Actually, I think it's like a combination of Bill Simmons and Colin Cowherd, to be honest with you, because it's like looking ahead. But I think it's so we're going to be doing the drafts based on the team, drafting our teams based on how they will, like, if you're like the GM of a team and these guys, you're stuck with these guys for the next 5 years. How great, and you're gonna have to win as many games as you can for the next 5 years, and how great your team can be. So, and that's going to be starting next year, not starting this year. So we're figuring since we have 20 something regular season games left and then the playoffs, better to start off next year. So because that's to make it fun, I am allowing us to have, if you want to include college players in your team, you can do that, and also we will not be factoring in contracts as well. So, yes, so like Jaylen Brown, so you don't have to worry about Jaylen Brown's contracts, or I just used him as an example just because he's a massive contract, not because it's a bad contract, just because it's big. But like, yeah, so don't worry about the second apron, Grant Williams and CJ McCollum are terrorists, by the way. But I'm thinking, as long as you guys aren't opposed to this, I'm thinking, we let the guests go first, but we could do snake drafts. We'll go oldest to youngest. We'll go Mike, then John, then me, and then Matt, and then do the wraparound. So all current day NBA players
are we assuming 0 injuries as well?
That's a good question.
This is that is a tough.
That is a tough gamble, just because I'll say his name just because I didn't put Joel Embiid on my draft board because he's going to get injured, so that's why I didn't include him. So, to make it interesting, why don't we say just so you can do some risk taking yourself, put it in your head, if you can factor it in, let's do factoring injuries to see if that'll be a concern of yours. So yeah, we will factor in injuries.
All right, that makes number one difficult, because I could have the bust of the century. I mean, the question would be, I would
with your I have a feeling I know who you were thinking about, but I would still be confident in that pick. I know who you're thinking about though.
We're talking about Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah,
or is that okay? Yeah, I'm gonna go Wemby. I'm gonna go Wemby because also, we're locking in Defensive Player of the Year already, has never been on a good team yet, and is already his analytics showcase that if he was on a good team, he'd be performing at an incredible level, and really raising the ceiling. I mean, he's raised the ceiling of the Spurs for what they were. He basically was dragging them into near playoff spot with old man Paul doing his thing. But that team just. I love Stephon Castle. Champagne, which is, of course, but
well, Mike, Mike.
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, I was actually Mike. I was actually thinking about you on Sunday because we've talked about it a little bit off camera. We don't need to get into the specifics, but Mike is also an enjoyer of conspiracies. So the producer of the show, Sports Fluence, he's actually into conspiracies as well, and he has a conspiracy that he doesn't believe that Victor Wembanyama is sick or anything, and that the Spurs are doing
they're doing the Tim Duncan.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
exactly. So
the David Robinson, I guess.
David Robinson, yes, correct. So like whether you want to believe that or not, that could be up to you. I'm not giving my stance, but I'm just saying it wasn't me that said that. It was the producer of the show that said that. So John, you're up.
So we're just doing, what are we doing? Like starting 5 and then 3 bench, or
starting 5 and 2 bench.
bench.
Unless we want to do 3, but yeah, we could do 2 just to start. But
okay, and you said we can draft college guys.
You can draft college guys.
Then I'm gonna take Kadari Richmond. No, I'm just kidding. I think I'll take. I think I'm gonna. I think I've denounced myself as the homer of the podcast here, and this might be a little bit of a homer pick, but I don't think it's as crazy. I'm gonna take Jason Tatum as my as my first overall pick, but the second overall.
John, if you didn't take
face of the NBA,
that's right.
According to him,
that's right.
I'm actually with him. But no, I'm with him. I'm with him that he doesn't get the respect that he deserves at all. But it's like, it is also wild to just then proclaim yourself like, I should be the face of the NBA. It's like,
he's been listening to the podcast. That's why he's been listening to us. And he's like, these guys might know a little ball. I should start talking like that. So
yeah.
He's also been doing it forever. He's been doing it since like rookie year, like dunking on LeBron right away.
That's my thing. Like face of the NBA means people are gonna like see you and like see the NBA. He plays all the time, not because he's not only because he's durable, but because he's always winning and he plays in big games. Like you're gonna play in big games if you win a lot. So that's why I understand his way of looking at it. So that's one way that I see.
It's because he's too friendly. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's because he's too friendly. Doesn't trash talk.
That's right.
Look at Ant. He's got the Michael Jordan thing. We're used to the Michael Jordan face of the NBA, the Kobe face of the NBA. Yep. Even LeBron early on, he was getting that. Oh, he passes too much, and then he was just like so unbelievable that we were like fine. But he even had the villain arc. He even decided for one season to become a villain. Until then, he backed out of it and didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, he hated being the villain. It takes like a special breed, and LeBron just wasn't the guy that liked being the villain.
Did not like that at all. Yeah,
no, he did not. Yeah, John, I wouldn't consider 2 that big of a homer pick because so Wemby would have been my first pick, and then Tatum would have been my third pick. Because my second pick, even though he's going to be 35 in 5 years, in 5 years, he's 30 now, and I do believe that he's going to be he could be the best player in the league in 5 years, given how skilled he is and that he doesn't really rely on his athleticism. Give me the best player in the league right now, Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, those are my top 3.
Yeah, and John, I will say you being the homer of the podcast is really tough to do because Chris and I give you a good run for your money, but I think you have been pulling away with it as of late. Yep. Mm-hmm. Those would have been my top 3.
Tatum homer is a unique breed, I will say.
That's what we do here. That's what we do on all the podcasts.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I got 2. It's a snake draft.
Love to hear it.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take 2 guys that AH has not been massive fans of. But I think they're both top 5 players in the league today.
Okay.
I think SGA is still 25. He might be 26 now.
Oh, okay, SGA for sure. I'm curious the other one. You said he's top 5.
I believe he's still top 5. That's Luka Doncic.
Oh, okay.
Top 6.
You scared me there.
Why? Who did you think?
I thought you were talking about Ants. I'm like top 5.
No.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay. Yeah. I respect. Yeah, those are the right picks, I think. SGA is a safe pick. Look, I'm not a huge fan of Luka at all, but he's a pretty safe pick too, even though he has his injuries and his defense concerns. But
it's wild how the smear campaign going against him. I can't believe they keep saying stuff. That's my thing. It's okay, you give your reason, but now they're they keep leaking new things, and it's dude, it's gonna either look one way or the other.
The fashion
They,
is off the charts, and I say that as someone who has participated sometimes in that, but still, it's nuts.
Yeah.
I made a video on. I actually made an exact video on exactly that, like this exact situation of like he is showing up too out of shape and he's not fulfilling his potential. I made that video right in the after the off season because but like in the video, I was like, it's hard to do this though. It really is hard. But I was like, here's the thing, like. I love Luka. I think he's an incredible player. He just led them to the NBA Finals. That's like I'm not trying to take anything away from him. Just saying, like, you don't want to be like a Shaq situation. You're leaving something on the table. Yes, you're incredibly dominant, but that doesn't mean you're not fulfilling your potential as well. I got ripped. It was impossible. You can't. You legitimately can't. People were like, dude, yeah, you averaged like a 30-point triple-double last year. Shut up.
Yeah. And I know I already said his name, and it made it seem like I wasn't going to go with him next because I don't think he's a top 5 player yet, but he does have a ton of potential. I crop him a ton on the show. But that being said, if we're talking for the next 5 years, even if he hasn't been, he's been great this year. Don't get me wrong, but and he's been better than I thought he was going to be, but worse than what a lot of other people thought he was going to be. But I am going to go with Ants. I think we do need some two-way ability. We have the best offense player in the league, so let's get one of the better two-way players in the league now. So give me Anthony Edwards.
Okay, this has fallen similar to what I thought it would be. I'm going to go with a guy who I think has, kind of operated behind the curtain a little bit this year, but his resume speaks for itself. Another two-way guy. I'm going to go with Giannis.
Okay. Thankfully, you took Giannis because I may have just avoided him and then regretted it. I'm just thinking young though.
Yeah.
Don't clip that. Okay. All right. So I have Victor Wembanyama, and I'm gonna go first time All-Star this year. Young guy. Actually, do I just do back to back here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go Cade Cunningham.
Nice.
Lock
Love
in.
that pick.
Nice 5-year pick. His playmaking has jumped off the charts this year. He's been making passes that, like, and the Pistons 8-game win streak. I mean, I really think that Cade is going to be one of take that leap and be one of the better players in the league. And yeah, I took him over Ja and guys like that. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, but over Ja, yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Ja, like, come back to where you were.
Tough, yeah.
At least, like, it's been weird. Even it's like he's averaging like 25 plus in his second year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think he'll be better next year. Yeah, I think this year's a weird year to come back to and everything, but yeah, I think the next year he'll be even better.
Okay. Now, this pick is tough, but because now I'm going possibly. All right, I'm just gonna do it. Paulo Banchero. Let's go young.
Nice.
Damn.
Let's go young.
I was hoping he would have.
We got
sooner, but
3 number 1 picks.
nice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, look at you.
Yeah, I believe in the future. We're trying to win the championship years 4 and 5 here.
I have a tough choice to make here. I feel like Tatum and Giannis, you pretty much have a pretty strong court. Thinking age too. You know what? I'm gonna pick a guard here. I'm gonna go Donovan Mitchell at my shooting guard.
Yeah, again, another time where Donovan Mitchell was taken slightly before me, so that's quite unfortunate, but that's okay. Got a big, I got a guard, got a wing. Do I go double down on my big? Do I go another wing? Do I pick up a playmaker? I am going to double down on big. I am going to go with the guys debatably defensive player of the year this year. I'm going to go with Evan Mobley.
That's who I was deciding between. He's only 23.
So young.
When he came into the league, he said he was going to be generational.
That's right. Yeah,
Quite a statement.
Yeah.
I can't believe he actually said that. Like, all right, man.
All right, so I got two. I am going to take a guy. This might be a little early, but who would I rather have for 5 years? I'm going to lock up my small forward and take Jaylen Brown. I think he's just entering his prime now. I think that's my 1 through 3, Luka, SGA, Jaylen Brown. Says Luka, SGA, and Jaylen Brown, very good defenders. Now, do I take... Because of injury concerns, I'm going to take Jaren Jackson Jr.
Nice.
You know he's only 25 years old?
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it right now. That's who I was going to pick.
I love him.
He's so underrated, I think, and he's so much younger than I thought.
He's 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ja's been letting them down.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Like, he was supposed to be that like 30-point per game megastar, that is carrying the franchise, and then Jaren's supposed to be the number 2 guy, but then they did the whole, scandal thing.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I've been kind of seeing revisions with him as people were saying like, oh, he was going to be the face of the league. I never saw that in him. Like I never saw him being like I saw him being like a fun player. I never saw him being like an actual face of the league. I feel like he's always been he's never been scandalous, but I feel like he's always been kind of quirky as well. And I never really saw the whole face of the league aspect in him. But maybe I'm remembering it not as fondly as other people are. But
he actually had the exact same scandal before he came into the NBA. And they scrubbed it from the internet. I'm not even kidding. Like, people, they I don't know how they do that. They scrubbed the tweets. Like, it was like all the sports writers' tweets about it. Like, it was him and his dad. They had a similar situation. So,
well, speaking of coming into the league, I'm gonna snag the first college guy off the board. Even though he might not enter the league as great to start, I'm expecting him to become an elite player very quickly. I'm going to go with Cooper Flag.
Nice.
Okay.
He'll be my small forward that I'm going to move into the 2, I think.
He'll be 23 when this experiment's over.
Oh, damn. Oh, maybe that wasn't smart then, but that's okay.
I think he's going to be so good.
Yeah.
That's not really a hot take by me, but I think he's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm trying to decide on a guard. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with Devin Booker, and I'm gonna shift him to my 1. He's a little bit of a down year, but I think he's definitely taken a step up in his playmaking over the past couple of years, especially playing next to KD. Definitely hasn't really attributed to winning much, but I still think you got to put a little respect on his name.
Okay. I like where I'm at here. Okay. I could go so young and just be, and my roster makes sense. I'm gonna go. Am I missing someone though? That's key. That'd be an interesting pick. Let's go with the proven guys that have been effective. Here's the thing. I took Cade. And so I locked in a point guard. So I won't say the exact names here, but I would like another guy. But I'm going to go with Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren.
Nice.
Ooh.
And we're going to lock in the Chet Wemby. No one is scoring on us in the post ever combination.
I was thinking about taking Chet over Jaren Jackson Jr., but I said injury concerns. I took Jaren Jackson Jr., but I was very close.
I hope Chet's just good, like an all right environment. Like he was,
I think he will be.
He's been playing at that, like in the analytics, everything. He's played at that extremely ridiculous high level. I mean, the Thunder it's just like what happens if Chet comes back and plays like an all-star compared to what they're already doing. It's just insane. Maybe the Rockets make some kind of move.
Yeah, I'm in a tough spot here. I think I'm leaning this way because my guard defense leaves a lot to be desired with D-Book and Mitch. With Tatum and Giannis in the front court, it's a pretty good defensive duo. So I think I can sacrifice a little bit of defense here for some offense. I'm going to go with Alperen Sengun as in my 4.
He won the great player, great all-star, but doesn't fit the all-star game award.
I want that back immediately now, but I'll
the guy who I want to pick, I'm not sure if Matt would pick. I'm not sure if Matt would pick him with either of his picks. So I think I'm going to hold off on him. But like I didn't make any rules as the first. The first 5 guys do not have to be part of your starting 5. So I'm gonna. This guy won't be in my starting 5. But however, I will go with the guy who can fit into most systems. He's not having the best year this year, but I think part of that does up to the injuries. I think he's going to be much better next year. I'm going to go with Scotty Barnes.
Nice. I would have definitely taken him.
Oh, he's not the guy I was talking about initially, but yeah, I'm interested to see who your next pick is going to be instead. Who your next 2 picks are going to be instead.
I am a big fan of this guy. I'm looking up his age right now. He is only, sorry, give me one sec. Good podcasting right here. He's 23 years old. He turned 23 in August. I'm going to take Franz Wagner.
Nice.
And I think he's going to be on my bench to start off. So Jaren Jackson Jr. can play the 4 and 5, and this guy is really more of a 5, but I think he can be a little bit of a 4 as well. I'm going to take Sabonis, who's only 28 years old right now.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take my point guard now. I haven't picked one yet. I think this guy is one of the most underrated players in the league. He was very much of a roller coaster, like reputation wise. Started off, he was one of the best players in the league last year. Injured, got injured, came back too early, started to pick up in the playoffs. Started off cold this year, has been on fire the past weeks. I'm going to go with Tyrese Halliburton. I think he fits perfectly with his team. One of the best playmakers in the league. He's been much more efficient lately. I'm a big believer in Tyrese Halliburton. I think he's going to have a great career.
All right. Well, my last pick was Sengun, and immediately after I picked him, I saw somebody that I wanted in that 4, that slot. I really I like Sengun, but with the lack of defense with my guards, I wanted somebody better defensively. So I think I honestly might put Sengun to the bench and put this guy in my 4 because I really like him on the defensive end. Again, down year this year. But I think it would be I think it really solidifies my rim protection. That's Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Okay.
So before
Maxey hasn't been picked.
Maxey's not been. Yeah. But Mike, before I let you also with your last 2 picks, did you guys want to go with one more, with one more, like what you want to go with the 8th man, just so we can round it out? Want to do that? Or go like one. We can go with 8 men instead of 7. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Maxey has not been.
All right. So I'm definitely going Tyrese Maxey. I'm locking in a 27-point per game scorer. Who, with Embiid struggling last year, almost took the Knicks down himself. So I'm loving the Maxey pick. Hyping myself up. But I want another big. All right. So the question is, that would just be love talking to myself. All right. The question is, who would be more valuable here? Who would be more valuable? I mean, would it in like 3 or 4 years? Would he still be doing it? I think his game is going to keep going. He's not as fun as the other guy that I would pick, but I'm going to go. Oh no, is it too crazy? No, right? This is a reasonable pick. I'm going to go just nice, big per. Karl Anthony Towns.
Damn it! I thought I would fall. He would be able to fall to me.
We're big cat
because I need that 4 or 5, just in case Chet and Wemby are not working out. And Cat would start to begin. So we'd have the nice Karl Anthony Towns Wemby combo, and then Chet grows into our start.
That would be very nice.
I like this more. That's it. Nice. Let's go.
I had 2 guys left on my list, and they were Tyrese Maxey and Cat. So thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I was waiting for Maxey. All right, that's nice.
I'm between 2 guys here. One's more, I guess, solidified, more of a veteran, a little older. One's more young and exciting. So I think I'm going to go, since I have a couple guys in their late 20s and one that's 30 and Giannis. I'm going to go with LaMelo Ball as one of my first guard off the bench.
It'd be an insane bench scorer.
Yeah.
Would he accept the role? Is the question.
Probably not. LeVar would not accept the role.
Yeah, LeVar, yeah. I saw that clip the other day. I saw on YouTube Shorts, it popped up top 5 LeVar moments, and it's like he was like, Lonzo is the best player on the Lakers right now to Stephen A. And he's like, over LeBron? And he's like, yes.
He's ridiculous. Next 5 years, huh? So got a couple guys.
LA stands for? LeVar is awesome.
Ridiculous.
I love that guy.
So funny. Yeah.
R.I.P. his foot.
Yeah.
His foot randomly got amputated.
Yeah. So I got a pretty set on. I'm not really set on anything actually. So yeah, I don't know what I'm most needed for, honestly. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the guy who has gotten a lot of hype this year. Has kind of slipped off a little bits as of recent. I do think that Amin Thompson, however, will be. I don't know really what to think of him as of now, but I do think he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife where he could really fit into any role. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good with this pick.
OTE elite.
I love him. I met him actually in person. I interviewed him in person.
Oh, wow.
OTE elite. I did their pro day actually.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Commentary. And great guy. They're both were great. They were so locked in. So I'm like a huge fan of them specifically because I'm just like, I interviewed them and it was awesome.
The basketball historians.
But yeah, too. Yeah, dude, they were as locked in as you possibly could be. But now the question to me is I'm like, how are you so locked in and this is all you care about, but you can't shoot? What is happening? Get the jumper going, man. NSR.
All right, so I have pretty good defense, but my shooting isn't that great. I mean, Sabonis could shoot 3, but not at really a high rate. Luka can shoot the 3, but we don't have a lot of catch and shoot guys. I'm gonna go with Darius Garland. He's been shooting the 3 ball at a high clip this year. Can give me a little bench scoring as well. And then my next pick, I think I'm gonna end up hating this pick by the time Chris takes his 8th guy or 7th guy, whatever we're at. I'm going to go with Zion Williamson.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, I was looking at that. He's 24.
I was looking at that.
He's 24 years old.
I forgot he was that young. Oh my god.
He's so young, and he's averaging whatever in 27 minutes this year.
No, he's doing really well recently. You're buying him at a skinny stock price right now. You're buying skinny.
Yeah, he slimmed down.
That's right.
They said lowest weight since he's been a Pelican.
Yeah, it's 260 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so, but
Slim's on. Oh, was that was my 8th guy, right?
Yeah, it was your 8th guy.
Okay.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I don't know how much I love this Amen pick because I did pick him because he's a Swiss Army knife and he could be like a good playmaker one day, but I really only have one elite playmaker. But damn, what should I go with here? I don't even know. Should I go with the more versatile guy? Do we go with the big to back up Mobley and Jokic, or yeah, what is he? No, damn it. You know, yeah, I'm gonna go playmaking. Yeah, I was thinking about going big, but yeah, I am gonna go guy we talked about a little bit earlier. I'm gonna because I did say these gonna be better. I'm gonna go with John Morant.
That's high upside.
Yeah.
You never know.
So yeah,
I mean,
shout out to
showed it before.
Yeah, Mike. I don't know if you're familiar with the guys from the Pick a Side podcast. They've been on our show a couple times. But one of the main guys, River Brown, he tweeted out recently saying I'm not tweeting until Ja gets 30, which he finished with, which he hasn't done. He hasn't done most of the year, but he already did finish with 29 the other night. So yeah, he literally just missed the mark. So hopefully he has some great takes. So I'm hoping that he can score again. But we got 2 more picks now.
Yeah, I guess the decision you have to make now is, do you want 2 guards or 2 bigs on your bench? And it's tough. You know, I got Sengun and LaMelo on my bench right now. I think I feel pretty comfortable with Book and Mitch as my guards, and Tatum can handle the ball pretty well too. And in a pinch, I guess Bam could bring the ball up when everyone else is guarded. But I am going to go with kind of a backup. Not big, but forward, maybe a little bit more in the middle. Definitely limited offensively, but a lot of high upside. I'm going to go with Jalen Johnson from the Atlanta Hawks.
Nice. That's what I was.
Ooh, okay.
That's what I was between him and Zion.
Only 23.
So Trey didn't get drafted, right?
Trey did not get drafted.
The problem, I can't. If we're going only 8, though, I can't have Trey with Maxey. So. Pouring out for Trey here, man. He gets disrespected everywhere, I guess.
I couldn't have Trey and LaMelo. That's probably the worst bench guard duo. And
yeah, exactly. Like once you choose, yeah. I mean, all right, wait, but my other I'm looking. I'm like, all right. Well, I'm last pick, so I can just say them out loud. So I'm looking. If I was looking for a wing, it would be I have Jalen Green as a possibility. I have Austin Reeves as a possibility. Which I don't mind, and I have Tyler Hero as a possibility, which I like those 3. Tyler Hero proven as an all-star, but I still don't fully believe in him, to be honest. No matter. I don't know if he can make me believe in him. He's Austin Reeves. He's had a tremendous come up this year, like even from what he was last year. This is a tough one. If I was gonna go, you know what? I'm gonna go high upside here. And I'm going to believe in Jalen Green.
All right.
Might be a surprise, but Jalen came into the league a bit hot. Then you might not know this, I'm not sure. I think he has 4 children already. So he's had a lot going on. Yeah, he really enjoyed the Houston life. Might still love it, but I could see him get into that like 25 plus a night. I don't know. I'm just, I'm not feeling Tyler Hero, I guess. Like it might be some Tyler Hero disrespect.
I don't blame you. All right. Cool. So yeah, we got our teams laid out. I'm not gonna have us read our team, but I am, however, gonna post the poll on Instagram like I usually do. We can, however, list some honorable mentions. Hilarious how none of us picked Jalen Brunson, by the way.
So
a little too old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And short.
Yeah,
Hard to fit him.
short. Yeah. Interesting how me probably knows the least amount of college basketball here. I was the only person that picked a college basketball player, which I definitely reached for Cooper at that point, but that's okay. But
No LeBron.
no LeBron. Yeah.
I was thinking of choosing Boozer's son. Is Cameron the power forward? I was legit thinking about just pulling him out as a wild card at the end, but then it's like 2 years. Like we still have to go to college for 1 year, and then it's like, what do I think? But maybe like year 3 and 4 there, he would be really solid. Like, at
Yeah.
that point.
I was gonna pick RJ Lewis.
The other
too.
guy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked by the no Brunson, Chris. He's a little older. I think he's turning 29, but still, I mean, a couple years out of him. But I don't know how well his game's gonna age.
That was the thing. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that.
It's just hard. It's the short is hard with like lineups because it's like you
Yeah.
only, especially when we're like picking like a fantasy type lineup. Like it's like I have Kate Cunningham as my point guard. Man's like 6'6" to 6'8", depending on where you look the listed site. But so it's like sorry Brunson, but
Yeah, like
you'd
have to, if you wanted to win, you'd have to like pair him with like another like strong defensive guard. And do you really want to like use a pick? Like you're pretty much like making 2 picks at that point. Like it's weird.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to think if there were anyone else down that I missed. Oh yeah, my last pick I was actually thinking about going Anthony Davis. Because like what is he, 32? So yeah, he is a little old. But yeah, like I figured that LeBron, Steph, and KD were going to be off limits, nobody would want them because they're so old. I was wondering if AD was the cutoff, was the cutoff because of either age and or injury concerns. He hasn't 2023 and 2024 didn't have any injury concerns, but this year obviously has been the case. So like I'm wondering if he didn't get injured this year, if that would have been different. But that was interesting for sure.
Jared Allen's only 26.
Yeah,
he's young. I mean, that could have been a late round.
Yeah,
pick.
he would have been good. Yeah. I can see
Also-
Austin Reeves coming back to bite me over Jalen Williams.
De'Aaron Fox.
He's a
I was
little
thinking
older.
Fox. Yeah, he's a little older.
Fox is 27.
Yeah, Fox, yeah.
I was thinking Herb Jones as well. Young guy. Like a great guy off the great. It would have been a great role player given this setting. But
Trey Murphy too.
Trey Murphy, absolutely. Yeah, Trey Murphy. I thought about LaMelo's teammate Brandon Miller. So
Wild card Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels.
3.1 steals a game.
Yep.
That's what I should have done. Should have went with the defensive. Should have went with the defense.
Even Lauri Markkanen's only 27. I know injury
He's that
concerns. He's not that young. Trey Murphy's 24.
Yep.
If we were going by nicknames, Dyson Daniels definitely should have been taken. The Great Barrier.
Dyson Daniels. I legit. I think I regret that one, to be honest.
That's okay.
There's plenty of offense. We have plenty of offense out here.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm assuming that you got I don't know if you guys were jotting down the names as I was too, but I'm trying to think of who has the best. I'm trying to think who has the best team both now and in the future. I guess in the next 5 years, I don't. Yeah, it's tough to look at now because we did end up going with 8s, but all of us have our strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, like my concern is my depth in big, but that being said, I don't think I need too much depth in big when I have Jokic and Mobley. But after that, John, I think your biggest strength is definitely scoring with Tatum, Mitchell, and Book, even LaMelo. Mike, I'd say your biggest strength is definitely defense. You got. I'm pretty sure that your worst defender is either Paolo or Cade, who are both very solid on that end. So, and then Matt, I guess Matt, yours is probably two-way ability. You got SGA, you got JB, you got JJJ, and you got Franz. So, Like all of us have our different aspects for sure, but Flag was definitely my biggest regret. Yeah, because like when I thought about it, like I'm like, oh yeah, it is 5 years, but who knows? Maybe he's gonna be one of the best young guys that we've seen in a while, but who knows? All right, cool. But yeah, I'm gonna post the
solid.
yeah,
I believe in
he'll just a matter of when is he gonna pop is the question. He'll definitely be great though. All right, so I'm gonna post the rosters on Instagram and probably Twitter as well, and see who everyone thought was the best team. Definitely hoping to get a lot of votes in there.
Who won the last poll?
What was that? Who won the last poll? You won by a lot. Yeah,
that's right.
It wasn't even close. Yeah. I got 4 votes, I think, and one. Yeah, like I think Matt got like 12. I think John got like 5 or maybe like 6 or 7. I got 4. One of them being my girlfriend. So, so that was very nice of her. Looking forward to that. But definitely a great show, Mike. Before I do my traditional sign off, do you want to do plug anything? Before I bring everything else out.
Just my YouTube is my name. Very simple on that one, and just want to say thank you guys for having me. It was a great time. It was great talking basketball. Love some St. John's guys for sure, and
absolutely.
Maybe we run it back in the playoffs or something.
Yeah, sweet.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch. In that sense. Definitely happy we were able to connect there. Let's go, Johnny's. Yeah. But yeah, Mike, thanks for coming on. John, Matt, always a pleasure. Definitely definitely excited for the March Madness tournament coming up in a couple weeks. And talk some more college hoops there. But until then, make sure to follow All American Hooper on all social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Also be sure to take a look at my column on primetimesportstalk.com. Subscribe to @sportsfluence on YouTube to catch every episode on Thursdays at 8. Also be sure to take a look on Sportsfluent again on every Sunday nights at 10 p.m. I know that's late for everyone, but luckily you can watch the episode afterwards if you want. NBA Max, including myself, Sportsfluence, Ori B, who commented on the video, Jalen Carter, and Veronica as well. I figured this week we did on this show we did the young draft because like this Sunday we'll be doing an old man draft of the guys over 30, so we're very excited for that. Thursdays 8 o'clock for this show, Sundays at 10 o'clock for NBA Max. But until then, everyone, it's my new catchphrase. Keep on pausing every time. Until then, everyone, keep grinding, stay hooping. Have a great.
Put on a suit. Drink water. Don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
No, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.